Hi and welcome back to Armchair Pundits. I'm James. Today we've got Yao. We've got Leon. I thought Yao was going to say hello, but he was in dreamland.
He's being stood
somewhere.
I'm here, people.
He's here. We've got Leon once again.
Hey, people.
It's been a busy week, full of football, full of news, full of interest, and we've had Louis van Gaal being hired, finally, by Man United, what we probably knew about 3-4 weeks ago. Ryan Giggs retiring, which we weren't too sure he was going to do, but retiring and becoming assistant manager, is that a good thing? Is that not a good thing? Should he be assistant manager? We'll discuss that in due course. We've had the whole madness of Yaya Toure. Does he want more money? Does he not want more money? Should he have had a birthday present? Should he have a birthday Bugatti? What is it all about? So, we'll start off with Leon this week. Ryan Giggs. Is he the greatest Premier League player of all time?
I wouldn't say the greatest, but he's definitely up there. He's definitely up there in the top 5 probably. Longevity, consistency. He scored pretty much at least a goal every season for about 10 or 11 years.
No, every season.
Every season?
Until this year.
This year.
This is the first time he did it.
And that's what, 20 years then. So, you can't argue with his quality. He managed to reinvent himself when he didn't have the pace anymore. And that's one of the most difficult things for someone who spent most of their peak having quickness as one of their main attributes. He managed to reinvent himself. He's had to play left back, he's played central midfield, he's played behind the striker. He's been awesome, and you don't win all those trophies and win at one of the biggest clubs in the world without being a good player. So for me, definitely one of the best in the Premier League ever, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with Leo on that one. Definitely, I wouldn't say he's the greatest out of my personal choice, but definitely, I'd say in the top 10, because there's probably a few that I'd probably put ahead of him. But he's been at one club, which for me is something I respect highly, because there's a lack of loyalty in the game today. I'm not talking about a few players, but Modric never come to North London again. That's what I'm saying. No, I mean, he's done very well. One thing I read today is in the Premier League era, or should I say in the league era, the time in which Giggs has been at Man United, he's only lost 96 times for Man United in the league. I don't care what anyone
96?
says. That's insane. Okay?
96 times in 20 years.
In 20 plus years, he has only lost 96 times in the league. Well, that's what I wanted to cry. There's teams in the Premier League that have lost 96 times. All right, let alone just losing 100 games. So he's got a fantastic record as a player. It's unfortunate he didn't get a goal this season, because it would have really capped off a fantastic career. But it doesn't really matter. And he's gone on to what, 39? He's going to be 40. He's going to be 40. I mean, that's only something that Teddy Sheringham can really talk about. And it's not. I'm not saying anything bad about Teddy Sheringham, but Giggs is the type of player that we knew when we were young. It was all about his terrifying pace.
Well, Giggs played at a higher level for longer.
Yeah, of course.
So that's why it was.
I think with Sheringham as well, he never had pace. So even when he got older, it didn't matter.
It didn't
he was
hurt.
all about his brain. It was his brain that was the quickest part. The quick part of his.
So do you believe that if Giggs had played for England, would he have been given even a higher status? Because obviously he played for Wales, they've always wanted him. Would he be classed as even better if he had put an England shirt, if he had chosen that? Because
I don't think it really matters.
Because he lost. Because you got to look at you think of it this way. Giggs was fantastic in the Premier League. Europe, he was known, but international stage, there was no Giggs because Ferguson didn't let him play for Wales. Let's be honest. Ferguson pulled him out of so many international games because he wanted to keep him fresh because he was injury prone. He could never have done that if he was English. So do you think if he had been able to go to Euro 96, if he'd gone to all those tournaments and been England's star left winger, could he have then become a bigger star?
Well,
it's debatable.
It's very debatable. I mean, you could say that, if Giggs had played for England, would England have had the left-sided problem sorted? Yeah, they would have. But would that have made England given them a better chance to win the World Cup? Well,
I think it would have.
Maybe so, but
still debatable.
It's still debatable.
Putting Giggs in your team only makes you stronger.
Yeah.
Giggs on one side, because you'd have had
Beckham
you'd have had the Man United midfield for a long time. Beckham one side, Giggs on the other side, Scholes in midfield, and Gerrard or Lampard, whichever one you're chosen. That would have been a formidable midfield.
I think for me, one thing I've always stuck true to is the fact that players should play for the country that their parents are from. And if I'm right, one of his parents is English.
One's English and one is Welsh.
Welsh.
I think.
That's Welsh.
Yeah, so he went for the Welsh. So he could have had his pick, you know. For other kids out there that are playing now, they're just going for whatever country takes them first, or whatever country, you know, might give them a bigger platform, you know, for them to then get a higher paycheck later on in life. For me, it doesn't really matter that he didn't really get to go to a Euros or a World Cup, because if he did, it wouldn't have really changed the fact that he is generally a world-class player.
Yeah, I would disagree, because
you could easily say that he might not have had the longevity that he had if he played for England all the time.
He might have been finished at 33.
Instead of 40.
Like a lot of England players.
That's true, that's a fair point. So moving on to Van Gaal. So he's now come in, he's accepted the challenge. I think that's probably what the rancor was about. They wanted Giggs as assistant manager, because there was a lot of talk that Kluivert would come in as his number 2. He's number 2 currently for the Dutch national team. It didn't happen, and it's come to pass that Ryan Giggs is the guy. What can Van Gaal do? We've got the reputation. He's a hard man. He does well working with youngsters and getting them to play. He's a kind of guy, as we said, started after Barcelona philosophy, started after Ajax philosophy. Has he got time to do that? Can he do that to Man United, or is it really there at Man United that they've got the youngsters? Does he have to change a lot to get Man United back to where they are?
Let's face it, most of this team that United already had already won the Premier League.
Mm-hmm.
So they're as bad a season as they had, they're not in dire straits. They're not, oh my goodness, Man United are just going to collapse into the abyss like Liverpool did for a while. I don't think that's going to happen, because a lot of the team that they still have is still there. So for me, I think it's about respect. I don't think the players respected David Moyes because he hadn't achieved anything. They can't say that to Van Gaal, because he has. And his pedigree, he doesn't care about reputations. He's all about the team. If you're not willing to work in the formula or with the formula that he's creating for this team, you're out. And that's as simple as that. He didn't get on with Ribery at Bayern. He didn't get on with certain. I think there was another player he didn't get on with.
Robert.
Is it Robert?
He didn't get on with Robert.
Well, and he's Dutch as well. And he moved Schweinsteiger from a winger to a central midfielder, which now you look at it.
But he never really had the pace for a winger. That's probably why.
That's where he was playing all the time.
But it seemed like common sense. He became a better player playing centrally.
No, but that's what I'm saying. But you need someone to do that and put you there and give you that opportunity to play there. He could argue and say, "Oh, Rooney, you've got too many attributes to play off wide as a striker because I want Van Persie there." He may say that Rooney's now playing midfield. He could do that.
I mean, just to like go off Leon's comparison there with moving Schweinsteiger into a centre mid. Look at Harry Redknapp will be one of those managers that would love to say that, you know, he moved Gareth Bale up to a winger. Technically, people will say that wasn't really big of a jump because he was already a fast, very fast moving left back. But the one that you need to look at for is what AVB did. AVB moved him into the middle, gave him free roll and said, do what you like. And now you have the Bale that we see today. So you do need a manager or somebody who's at the top or running the team, should I say, to, you know, shake things up and move players where they see fit. Van Gaal for me basically is another Ferguson. He won't take rubbish from the players. He won't allow the players to become too big for the club, because if they do become too big for the club, he gets rid of them. He couldn't really do that with Robin, but he put him on the bench and that hurt Robin. We all know that hurt him. So players either play to the sound of his trumpet or, you know, sit on the bench and roast. And 9 times out of 10, even though you're getting paid a very big paycheck, no one wants to be sitting on the bench. No one. Because then you can't really say that you helped the team to achieve whatever they do achieve in a season.
Okay, well, Van Gaal is reportedly been given 150 million to spend, and 2 targets that could take them forward. Luke Shaw, 27 million, and what a lot of people are saying is, how can Luke Shaw be 27 million and Tony Cruz who some people, it's not world class yet, but some people say he has the ability to become world class, is only with 20 million. Even with his last year of his contract, do you think he should cost more than 20 million, Tony Cruz?
The transfer market is heavily inflated now. Tony Cruz right now, last year of his contract, me going off my old school transfer mind would pay no more than 16 million. Because he's young and I could see that I'll keep him for a very long, and he'll probably make that money back.
But Van Persie went for how much? 25?
Van Persie went for 24.
24. So, and this
But
is
he's 30.
Exactly. So if he's younger, it should be more than Van Persie's one.
I mean, you can argue that, but
He hasn't played in the Premier League.
he hasn't played in the Premier League.
You're buying a proven goal scorer.
Proven.
Van Persie won a league. He paid his dues in that first season.
And I think he scored 30 goals throughout the season. Throughout that season.
Tony Cruz will be a very good signing for United because the midfield is
shocking.
is terrible.
It's absolutely shocking.
So
I'm
you're
surprised.
talking about Cleverly saying that he's the Spanish. If he was in Spain, he'd be more appreciated.
wouldn't.
Well, you're bringing Tony Cruz in, so you're doing exactly.
Who said that? Cleverly.
Cleverly said he'd be more
He
appreciated.
said
in
himself.
Spanish.
Yeah.
Yes.
I haven't seen that report.
This is ages. This is old news, dude.
That's nonsense.
Cleverly said
right
he'll
there.
be more appreciated in the Spanish league.
I've seen it.
Hey.
And to be honest,
Yeah.
with you, but
He
that's
should change his name because that's not clever.
but the simple fact of the matter is the reason why it's not just Cleverly that thinks like that. There's people that we know personally that generally believe, because they play for an English club or they're an English youngster, we don't rate them. No, the simple fact of the matter
that's true of
is
some people. Just
for
some
some,
people
for some people you might want to be harsh. Like some people, like if Danny Welbeck was in the Spanish league or in the Italian league, we'd be ranting a raven. Oh, I'll tell you the exact same. I do not like that kid. I do not think he's quality. All right, I think he's heavily average, and that's about it.
The do not like is probably because he chose England over Ghana.
That's
just
That's
because obviously
we don't want to bring
we
that.
want everyone to listen. So in case Danny Welbeck does listen, it's not personal. Just that you chose England over Ghana.
Bad
And
choice.
he's a strong Ghanaian.
I think it's a bad choice. But in terms of like the transfers with 150 mil, I don't think they're going to spend 150 mil. That's
I
me
don't think
personally.
they need to spend that.
I don't think
No,
they're
but
gonna
okay, you say they don't. They need 2 new centre backs because let's be honest, to get them back
They're
to
losing
the
3
top.
players
Yeah.
in their back line.
Yeah, well, maybe 2 because now there's talk of
Everest.
Everett possibly staying, which solves one problem, possibly the captaincy problem, but we'll come on to that. But they need 2 new centre backs definitely because you can't go in with the 3 they've got.
No.
Not as a pair. Maybe one with I don't know. There's a lot of talk of
experienced
Hummels.
one.
There's a lot of talk of Hummels. So maybe you could have an Evans and a Hummels to start off with, and then give Smalling and Jones games bit by bit. But
I think Smalling's time is very, 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 very
he hasn't
limited
progressed
now.
Should
He
stay at
hasn't.
Fulham.
He came out of nowhere because he rejected playing in the youth teams.
Academies.
When he was younger, and tried to take a different route. He's come back, and he looked really, really good at Fulham, but he only played a handful of games. Man United took a punt, and by and large, I think the problem that he's been playing at right back, and he isn't
Not
good on the
right back.
ball. So if you're not good on the ball as a right back nowadays,
You get found out.
you're very limited, very, very limited. So I think Van Gaal will do a very, very good job. It'll be interesting to see what targets he has because everybody is looking to change
So
something
he's given his
this
targets.
season.
From what I've heard, there's Hummels definitely. It says Fabregas is one of them.
But apparently Barcelona want Hummels too. So, not everyone's going to get everyone that they
True.
want.
The other one is obviously Tony Cruz, which you've heard about. Luke Shaw is another one. There's another centre back who I can't remember right now. Argentinian one.
Yeah, they want
Garay.
Garay.
Ezekiel Garay.
Ezekiel Garay. So I think that enough. I won't say a win in the league, but top 4 challenging.
Oh, they'll be back.
Definitely.
I think they'll be back challenging for sure. They'll be back challenging. One thing they will get right is tactics.
Yeah.
Because this guy knows tactics. And the only person I could say that really, done a number on him was Mourinho.
It's funny you said that because as I tweeted on our Twitter account and asked you guys to give us your views, the war has started. Van Gaal has come out and said that he believes Jose Mourinho's jealous of him.
We said that they're good friends. I think that was in jest.
Well, it's in jest, but there's no friends when you're going head to head for a league title.
We'll see. Let's not predict anything. We're gonna see a lot of things unfold over the summer. So we'll have plenty of time to mull over it.
Okay.
Sure.
So will it be an immediate success, challenging for the title straight away, or will it be 2-3 years before they're actually really challenging for the title? Yeah.
I don't think it'll be an immediate success, but I think they'll get back into Europe definitely next season, and that will be the beginning of Man United getting back to what they once were.
I think they'll challenge maybe up to a certain point, but I think they'll maybe fade off at the end. But they'll definitely be champion of the league next year for sure.
Okay. Moving on to the Yaya Madness, as I call it. Yaya Toure's agent started it off, just talking about, I think it was an interview, saying Yaya Toure is going to leave, that he's not happy, and everyone was like, what do you mean he's not happy? The guy's on 300,000 a week. What's there not to be happy about? Then he's come out and said that it was Yaya Toure's birthday on the 13th of May, and they didn't even celebrate his birthday with him. Then we had the whole footage of them on the plane and a cake being brought out, and Yaya Toure with his headphones on and Nasri trying to click to him, say, look, we're celebrating your birthday. Then there was more backtracking. What is going on?
I have a feeling, and this is just my own inkling, that Yaya may have been a little bit unhappy that he had to go to Qatar to play this unnecessary friendly
On his birthday.
I don't
He
necessarily
didn't play.
think,
That's the thing. That's probably what made him more angry. He
I
didn't
don't-
actually play.
and he might have said, "Can I have my birthday off?" This is all speculation, just me reading into all the facts that I have and thinking, coming to the only conclusion I can think of is he was unhappy. Maybe he wanted to not play or not go at all, but the chairman pulled rank and said, "Look, this is my team, and you are going to play," and he didn't play, or he didn't feel appreciated in that respect because they were having to fly back and whatnot. I don't know, but I actually think that he's probably looking to move on somewhere else.
Me personally, I think he's trying to figure out a way of pushing a transfer to go back to Barcelona. Let's not kid ourselves, right? The way he left Barcelona was all a bit up in arms, but the truth of the matter is, he did like his time at Barcelona. Probably loved it.
I think it was
Does he
Guardiola that he fell out with. Apparently.
Yeah, it probably was Guardiola because of the whole Busquets situation and him kind of getting shafted to the bench. But now Guardiola's not there, he probably would love to go
The
back.
question
to the
is,
team.
if he goes to Barcelona, does he start?
Yes. Why did you ask that? Why did you ask
Who's
that?
your midfield? The question has to be asked.
Xavi has to sit down. He's an old man now. Xavi has to sit
I
down.
actually do think they're in a transitional period where Xavi,
Yeah.
they're trying to look to
They're
see
looking
how
for a
they're gonna,
replacement. Xavi sits down. If Busquets wants to play, let Busquets play. Or Busquets sits down. One of them sits down. Neither one of them talks to Yaya. I'm sorry. It's got to that point
As
in
a
their
DM,
career.
Busquets talks to Yaya.
What? Come on.
Honestly, as a DM, he does talk to Yaya as a DM. For
It is because Yaya's not a DM anymore.
Exactly, that's my point.
Barcelona don't play that specific role for a DM. He's a floater across the back line. Cleans up.
No, because I don't know.
Busquets is a
But he's
defensive
he's
midfielder.
No, I'm not saying he's not a defensive midfielder. That's the
But
role
he
that
has
they've
that
given
role.
him.
He has the quarterback role now, but without the long balls. He goes, he picks up the ball, and he starts everything. PK sometimes runs forward and he slots in.
But that's most of the time when the
if they-
midfield,
yeah.
because Barcelona's midfield isn't very strong, they can't bulldoze their way through midfield. They have to weave in and do 1-2s and stuff like that. So when PK brings out, he gives the midfielders an option for him, so he can bring the ball out, and then the midfielders can then get themselves into more space in order to be an extra option. Because when they were getting flooded, whenever a team sits back, their midfielders haven't got anywhere to go because there's just two backs of four in front of them.
I think it would be Yaya, Busquets, Iniesta.
Fabregas definitely out, gone as
Fabregas doesn't
there's a
even-
price for him now anyway.
Fabregas doesn't even get played like that.
He
So,
has this season. He has.
Yeah, but
Martino
that's-
played him.
but
That was part
That's
of the
because
problem.
you've
The
got
problem,
him.
I think, but Fabregas was bought too early. I think they could have waited. They could have let Fabregas stay at Arsenal a couple of years and waited till Xavi was actually declining. Because when they bought him, Xavi wasn't yet
he's not declining. And Xavi can still do a thing. We know he's still quality. Still one of the players that I highly respect. highly love to watch as a
It's
player.
only his
But-
mobility that's starting to wane. But
Exactly.
he's still, when you see him on the pitch, he still does exactly what he was doing.
Bring Yaya in,
Okay.
play him against Busquets.
Okay, so for Yaya, back to that whole the issue. Is he right in what he's doing?
No.
No, come on.
Of course not. It's stupid. He's trying to find a reason to go, and he doesn't have one.
Because a lot of the fans are now saying he can go.
Yeah, because he sounds like an idiot. Oh, you didn't celebrate
So
my birthday.
Is that not
he's
just dumb?
30 he's 31
Is
years
that
old.
not just dumb then? Because your agents have more comments. Don't find a better way. Come
Forget
on.
agents. Forget
To
agents.
say the birthday.
agents
And now they're
the
backtracking
agents-
this. They're backtracking
his
that.
Agents have
there.
to do what they have to do to get paid. Okay, the agent is there to get paid, and so are the players. The simple fact of the matter is, this is dumb. Rooney had a tantrum and said, "Look, I want to go to Man City," and had people at his doorstep saying, "You walk out, and this will be the final day that you see a blue sky." So, all this kind of nonsense that players are doing now.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Back foot. We saw that saga over the summer. But in terms of Yaya, he's just being a big crybaby. If I was the chairman of City, I'd probably like either make him rot or send him away.
Okay, but if it is angling to move, then why did they now come out again saying, "Oh, if you give him a coaching role, he stays"? Why add it? They could have left it up there, but now they said if you give him a coaching role, he doesn't have to go nowhere.
This may turn out to be a thing about egos.
I think
Because
it is
now
egos.
Yaya's making ultimatums, I think he's almost goading
To
the
get rid
chairman
of
to
him.
say, "You can't tell us what you want. If you want to go, go." I actually think I think they're trying to make Man City get rid of him.
Because I read what his guy, the Selleck, his chairman said. Yaya needs the club in the future. We don't want any more pounds. No longer contract, nothing like this. Only really attention. More attention to be paid to Yaya. Yaya must be happy at the club. That's the main thing. I tell you one more time, we don't need more money, more pounds, more contracts. Yaya must be happy.
I think it's nonsense. Pure and utter
I think it's really
nonsense.
difficult to keep everyone happy when you've got everyone as a multi-millionaire in that club.
They've made him too rich.
Too early? Too rich? He's
Too early
31.
to- And so? Giggs ain't
All
never touched
footballers
that
are
kind
too
of
rich.
Yeah, but
All
Giggs ain't
footballers
never been on that
at
kind
that
of
level are too rich. Let's be honest.
That's
But
true.
you know, they get paid based on what the market's paying. So
And the market's
you
paying
can't
well.
really argue. You can't really argue with it. It's not good in relation to the normal person, but you know, all players' wages are inflated at the top level now anyway. So I just think he's angling for a move. There isn't really, no one can give a reasonable explanation as to why this is happening, apart from the fact that he wants to move. If he doesn't want no more money, he wants more attention. What?
Yeah.
What are they saying? Oh, Yaya, you know, you need to do more work on the pitch. No, I don't think so.
No, you know what? Like, in all honesty, the whole Yaya thing will probably come to an end. He'll probably still be at Man City. And we'll probably be talking about how great he's been for City in the next season, to be honest with you. I don't see him going nowhere. But if he was to go somewhere, it will be Barcelona. I don't want to see him in Barcelona colours again.
Well,
I'll
speaking
take
of-
him out Real Madrid.
I'd like to throw out congratulations to Atletico Madrid for winning the league title. They've done it with less money than Real Madrid, less money than Barcelona, smaller squad, using the same 16 players the whole season. Eventually, they even won it without Diego Costa playing a full part in the last 3 or 4 games. So, which he deserved, in my opinion. Unlike the Premier League this season, the best team won the league. The best team won it.
James,
So,
bit tight.
congratulations. What do you guys think? How impressed were you with Atletico Madrid and Diego Simeone? Yeah.
Oh.
Well, Leon, whichever. I don't mind. Whichever wants to go first.
I was gonna say, I was extremely impressed by the intensity they've managed to keep for the whole season. Simeone's done a wonderful job. He managed to motivate players who, you know, have been rejected at other clubs, not really done so well. Diego Costa came out of nowhere, a very late developer, and he's turned into an absolute goal machine this year. A nuisance, absolute nuisance to defenders, which now Chelsea want him to kind of as a delayed replacement for Drogba. But for me, totally deserved. Brilliant group of players who work for each other, and they've always been about team rather than individuals. And I think that's the reason for their success this season.
I'll be honest, as a Real Madrid man, I'm hurt. Atletico have taken the title, but I'm happy.
You did it yourselves.
Yeah, we did, but I'm happy that they took it away from Barcelona, because it would have been an absolute stinger if I had to sit there and watch Barcelona steal a title that they had not been part of for 99% of it.
Explain.
They were top for more times than anyone else.
No one cares. No one cares for what you have to say. All right.
See, okay, that's just Roman's bitterness.
Right.
They were top for the longest time.
No one cares.
And they beat you home and away.
Okay.
So they were obviously part of it.
Nice. You want to throw that in there?
Yeah, you were top for least.
Cool.
And they didn't lose to Atletico the whole season.
Neither did Atletico.
Atletico can't lose to Atletico.
Exactly. So all I had to say, no, in terms of Atletico winning the league, no, they deserved it. They definitely did deserve it. They were the better team. It's nice to see a team that at least works hard and puts in the training session to come out on top. James did put it right. The best team in that league did win the league. But this is not a surprise to me, actually, to be honest with you, because Atletico over the last, 3-4 seasons have been really strong.
They won the UEFA Cup
twice back to back.
European League, sorry.
Yeah, they won that back to back. I think the dumbest player this turn of the year, should I say, or this turn of the season, is Falcao. Should have never left them like that. But I think him leaving them helped them to push forward. So obviously, there's a good and a bad in that transfer.
He doesn't have the same characteristics as Diego Costa. So he wasn't the fighter that Diego Costa. Diego Costa even scored more goals than Falcao.
But I think,
who would have thought that would have happened?
I think in terms of praises, it has to go to Diego Simeone. He looks like a manager that drives a very hard ship and has done well to steer them all the way to glory.
Well, I have to hold my hands up because I think it was while we were on the show last year, I did not want Diego Costa. I didn't think he was good enough to replace Luis Suarez. He probably still isn't good enough to replace Luis Suarez, but he proved me wrong because he's had a fantastic season. Should be Spanish Player of the Year. I know Ronaldo scored a heck of a lot of goals, but that's what you expect. So for me, my Player of the Year in Spain will be Diego Costa for what he's done. As Leon said, he kind of came out of nowhere. Although we knew about him and he got loaned here, there and everywhere, and it just finally clicked for him and he came through. He's been fantastic. So, your Spanish Player of the Years, and then we'll say our goodbyes. Mine
is definitely going to be Ronaldo. I can't take it away from him. I just can't do it.
It's Ronaldo, man.
I can't.
You can't just because you expect it doesn't mean he deserves it any less.
For me, he scored the 31 goals. Diego Costa got, was it 28 goals?
It was about
28 goals. So has he really... Diego, what's he won? Diego Costa's won the league and he got 28 goals. That's Player of the Year for me.
Ronaldo's got Copa del Rey. It still counts as a trophy.
I'd rather have the league.
The
Copa del Rey.
We won't deny
their Copa del Rey is like our Carling Cup, if we're honest.
Atletico should all get Player of the Years because they were all outstanding for the whole season.
Exactly.
There you go. Well, this has been Armchair Pundits. This has been fun again today. I'd like to thank Leon, I'd like to thank Yao, and especially I'd like to thank all of you listeners. Keep listening, keep hitting that like button on YouTube, keep responding to our tweets that we send out. There will be more coming out. The show will be pushed more and more as we go along. So, as I say every week, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your work colleagues, tell them to listen to Armchair Pundits and forward the links on and on. See you later.
Take care.
Bye.